Hey everyone, Adam Sklar here from Sklar Bikes, out riding Skeggs Trail, and I'm on my new Hardtail mountain bike, and I want to take a minute to talk a bit about it. So here it is, the Hardtail, which is the first production mountain bike from Sklar. As far as design philosophy goes, I would put the Hardtail in the category of a trail bike. So it's not the most aggressive hardtail out there, but reined in just a bit to be a little more fun and playful. We're talking 65 to 66 degree head tube angle with a shorter rear end, 427 millimeter chainstay length, and the frames have a longer front center designed around the steeper C-tube angle and a shorter stem. The frame is designed mostly around 140 millimeter travel fork, with the small around a 130 and the XL around 150. And that's mostly for stack and standover reasons. But you could run a 130 to 150 and be pretty happy depending on what you're going for. I've been enjoying 150 millimeter fork on my size large here. The frame's designed around a 29 by 2.6 inch tire, but it does fit some 2.8s. And we can do that because I designed this cool yoke right here. So here's that yoke in CAD, and I think this is one part where I really got to flex my frame builder experience. So if you're new here, I built custom frames for many years, and in that time I designed and built hundreds of mountain bikes, which is a cool experience to bring to these production bikes I'm doing. So for the yoke, you'll see a lot of production bikes use just a piece of plate, which is a good design. It's cheap and it's fast, but it's not that much more to have tooling made to cast a yoke. So in this case, it's cast out of 4130 and it's heat treated after, which makes it super strong. And I was also able to do some fun things like include a cable guide for routing a mechanical derailleur, or also having the yoke end in a round, which sounds like not that big a deal. But this is an instance of making the frame easier to fabricate, and because I have that experience of fabricating so many frames, I'm setting the factory up to build a more successful product, which is one cool way to ensure a quality frame. And also, I think it just looks a million times better the way it integrates with the chainstay. And yeah, so I'm really happy with this yoke design and excited to see it on the bike. Some other considerations for compatibility were using a UDH dropout, which means it's compatible with the Sram Transmission drivetrains and also a regular old-fashioned drivetrain, but a good way to future-proof these frames. I also went with the tried and true ISO tab, so you can run whichever size rotor you want in the rear. I prefer 180, and I designed these fun tabs, which I think turned out really nice. Like on all of my bikes, the Hardtail has full external cable routing, which makes working on your bike a million times easier. And of course, internal routing for a dropper post on this bike. But yeah, just a nice consideration to be nice to your bike mechanic or yourself if you're the one working on your own bikes. And one more thing that I'd like to emphasize with the design of this frame is that all the tubing was really spec'd from the ground up. For example, the head tubes are made to my spec, and the whole frame is made of butted tubing. So butted tubing helps reduce weight, but it also moves stress away from the joints, which is where it tends to concentrate. So it makes for a stronger frame and a lighter frame. You can only make a frame designed around 140 millimeter fork so light, but for a bike of that category, I think these are pretty darn light, and really something I'm proud of with this frame is they're coming out about the same weight as anything that I would make here in my shop. So pretty psyched on that. And yeah, the materials we were able to use, the factory that builds the Hardtails does all of their tube butting in-house and heat treatment. So pretty darn cool tube set on these bikes. Um, Also, I'm using smaller diameter tubing on the rear end of the bike than is maybe conventionally seen out of a production bike, and I'm loving the way that they ride. Such good suppleness to the frame, which is awesome on a hardtail, really helping you keep traction on loose, chunky stuff and smoothing out that ride. So, really happy with the ride quality, strength, really fun materials on these bikes. For the build kit here on my personal bike, I like stuff that is simple and lasts a long time. So you'll see I'm running the SRAM GX mechanical 12-speed drivetrain, which I've been running on my mountain bikes for years and years, and I love it. You don't have to charge it. It works great. It's not that expensive to replace parts. Um, I'm running the Cane Creek Helm, which we have available at sklarbikes.com, as well as the White Industries headsets. That's something to make it easier. I know picking out headset standards and forks can be tricky, so trying to make that easier for customers. I'm 5'11" and I ride a size large. Uh, my saddle height is 780 millimeters here, so if that helps you with sizing stuff. Also, shoot me an email, hello@sklarbikes.com, and I'm always happy to help out with fit advice. Other fun things on the build, we got a KS dropper, a Renthal stem. I like a 31 millimeter stem on this bike. Yeah, and an ergon saddle. I always like those. And my favorite tire setup ever for the mountain bike, DHR rear, DHF front. So that's the bike. It's available soon or now, and you can check out more at sklarbikes.com. Thanks for watching. Bye. Please like and subscribe.